Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Cooper, and I am so thrilled about this episode. I feel like the past couple of episodes we've gotten into some really deep topics and it's been a little bit more serious, but today I wanted to do a fun episode where I just tell you guys about things that I love. And before we get into that, I wanted to tell you guys about something because earlier today, I wrote my college essay, and it just feels so unreal to say that. Like, I am seriously blown away with how close I am to going to college. Like, it's insane that I'm applying. Literally in 6 days, I can apply to the University of Arkansas. It's just insane. And I'm so excited for it. It's going to be a whole new chapter of my life, but I can't wait. But it's all becoming real. Like, I literally wrote my essay and I'm going to be submitting it in a few days. It's just crazy. I also am going to the Dominican Republic in 5 days, I think. So yeah, it's crazy, but I'm so excited and I have so much to look forward to. And I hope that whatever season of y'all's lives that you're in, I hope you have stuff to look forward to, even if it's not like these huge things, even just small things. I hope you can find the joy in those things because they're important. Anyways, with that being said, let's get right into it. I wrote down 10 things that I am truly just passionate about. Not all of them are huge things. Some of them are just really small, but yeah, because I think we're in this age of everyone wants to be like nonchalant and like it's cool to be nonchalant and stuff, but no. I just do not like that. I think it's cool to feel things and it's cool to be unique. It's cool to have different things that you're interested in. So I wrote down the things that I'm interested in. Maybe you'll realize that me and you have more in common than you thought, or you'll realize, wow, we have nothing in common, but it's okay because opposites attract. Maybe you'll stick around. But whatever it is, I hope that this can kind of make you think about things that you're passionate about. And if you're passionate about things, talk about them. You know, talk about your own interests. It's cool to be different from the people around us. It's cool to have different things that we like. And yeah, let's get into it. These are not in any specific order because I honestly don't know what order I would put these in. These are just the top 10 things that came to my head pretty quickly. So yeah, number one, I put running. Now, a lot of you listening are probably like, wow, I hate running because I think running is so misunderstood. Well, not everyone, obviously, but a lot of people see running as just this like punishment, because of course, if you play any other sport, your punishment is running if you get in trouble. You know, if you miss a play or something and your coach gets mad, go run a lap or something. And it's like, it puts this wrong idea in our brains that running is bad. Running is a punishment to us. But running for me has been literally the opposite of that. And I've been running since I was 12 years old. I used to get these horrible headaches when I was 12 and I was getting them every single day. And, my parents are doctors and they didn't really know why I was getting these headaches. There was no specific reason why I should be getting these headaches. And my dad ended up just being like, maybe you should try running because my dad has been running for so long. And so he just recommended it to me. And so I would go out in the Texas heat. It was crazy, but I would go out and just run. I couldn't even run a mile at the beginning. I would just do mailbox to mailbox. So I would run to one mailbox and then I would walk until the next one. Run, walk. And then I ended up growing and then I could do 1 mile. I would text my dad so excited. I was like, I just ran a mile in 12 minutes. And then as I progressed, I would just get more and more excited and it built my love for running up. And now, 5 years later, I'm still running. And I hope to be running for the rest of my life until, I'm a grandma and my knees don't work anymore or something. But anyways, I just love it. I think I like the feeling of pushing myself to do hard things because even when it's not fun in the moment, I still find that I feel so accomplished afterward. I feel so proud of myself for doing something hard, especially if I wake up early and do it, or if I stay up late and do a night run. It's like, I feel so proud of myself for pushing my body to do something hard. And it's so rewarding, and I just love it. I think pretty much anyone who does any sport can probably relate to that on some level, if you like your sport especially. But like, if you have a good practice, if you have a good game, stuff like that, it's so rewarding and it feels so nice. And it's an addicting feeling to just feel so proud of yourself for doing something. And I just love it. Number 2, I have Noah Kahan. Now, music in general, I've always loved. The words to music hit me hard. And I listen to the words and I absorb them and I love them. I really just do, but Noah Kahan is something so special, and I literally am obsessed, especially with his new album. I cannot stop listening to it. If you haven't listened to it, then you definitely should, because it's so good. But if you're watching this like on the video, you'll know I have a Noah Kahan poster and vinyl. So I love Noah Kahan. I think he's an amazing person, and that's what makes me like him the most, because it's not just that he writes good music, he's actually a good person too. Literally, he's so grateful to all of his fans. He's so kind to all of the people who come out and support him, and I just love it. I get to go to a Noah Kahan concert at the end of this month, and I am so thrilled. I'm so pumped to be there. And yeah, I just love the guy. I love all of his music pretty much, but I've been a fan of him for multiple years before even Stick Season came out. So yeah, love the guy. Shout out to, I would say my favorite songs right now are Orbiter, Willing and Able, and Everywhere Everything. Those are my 3 favorites, but honestly, I love so many of them. It's hard to like rank them. Yeah, No Con, if you are listening to this, that would be crazy if he was. And honestly, my dream would be to have him on a podcast one day, but that's the point. Let's get into number 3. Number 3, I have Jesus himself. Now, if you are not familiar with me, then you might not know this, but I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, and Jesus saved my life, and I cannot thank him enough for the way he loves me. And I believe that my mission here on earth is to spread his love to other people, whether they believe in him or not. I think that it's my job to spread that love, joy, peace, patience, all of the fruits of the Spirit to everyone around me. And I just love Jesus. I love going to church. I love the community surrounding him, because when you are serious about your faith and you are chasing after Jesus and you're putting your whole life into becoming more like him, that joy and kindness will overflow to others, and it's amazing. And I have so many friends who are beautiful examples of who Jesus was and is, and I want to be like that. And I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about spreading the word. I'm passionate about becoming more like him. And I think that I've gotten that passion because I've seen it in my own life, especially from my dad. Shout out to my dad. He's probably going to think this is fantastic. But yeah, my dad has been so just disciplined in his faith, and he is always pushing us to go to church. He's always been such a good example of a godly man, and he has been an example of a Christ follower in general. And he pushes me every day, and he encourages me when I take the wrong steps and redirects me towards Jesus. And I love that. I love my dad and Jesus, but in different ways. Yeah. Number 4, I have crafts. Now, since I was extremely little, I've always just loved crafts. Everything about it. I love painting, drawing, building. I just love it all. I've always thought it was so fun, and it's always been an outlet for me. If I'm having a tough day, or if I'm just not feeling really high on energy or anything, I always have the energy to create something. I just love it. And I love to create things that can get my brain moving, but also are pleasing to the eye. I like making beautiful things, and it's just super fun. I think crafting is such a good way to get your brain going, especially if you're not in school. Like during the summer, it's like I don't have much to do in the summer. So I fill my time with crafts. I fill my time with doing creative things because I find that if I don't do those creative things, then I'll just be scrolling on my phone for the whole day, and I don't want to do that. I want to do something productive with my life, and it's fun. I was the kid who grew up watching 5-minute crafts and all of those things. Like I just love it. I love anything really where I can use my hands to create something. And I've always loved even just like different handwritings. I like to do different fonts, and I taught myself cursive when I was like super young because I just love it. I love pen and paper and markers and colored pencils, all of that. I just love it. And yeah, I'm just a naturally creative person. Number 5, I have Legos. Now, this kind of goes with the crafting and building. I just think Legos are underrated. And that's saying something because everyone loves Legos, but I still think they're underrated because there's just so many. First of all, there's so many different things. Like, no matter who you are, there's a Lego set that you will love. Literally, no matter what age you are, I truly think that even when I'm 50 years old, I'm going to be building Legos. I don't know. I just love them. And it's weird. It's like, you're going to be 50 years old still building Legos? Like, yeah, because there's Lego sets for every stage of your life. There's kids ones for only kids to do. But there's also ones for teenagers that are a little more advanced, more pieces. And then there's more like better designs that are like flower bouquets or something for if you're older. And yeah, I'm just obsessed with Legos. I've been building Legos since before I can remember. I've been building them for so long. I love them. And yes, they're expensive, but honestly, I'm going to keep buying them. And when I'm older, I'm going to keep buying them because I just love them. And also, another thing with Legos is like, if you get to a point in your life where you no longer like that design of something you built, you can take that apart and build something else yourself. There's endless possibilities because you can build whatever you want. My cousins used to have this Lego table, and it was just this huge table, and it took up like a whole entire room, and it was just Legos on Legos on Legos, and they built, so much stuff with it. And then I would go there, and there's just like boxes and boxes of Legos, and I would just grab some and build a car, or grab some and build whatever, because there's endless possibilities, and I love it. And I think as you get older, you kind of lose that creative spark. Not fully, but I think when you're a kid, that creative spark is much greater because, you have the imagination. Like, you have this crazy imagination that just imagines things all the time. You know, when I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend. So it's like, when you're older, you obviously aren't imagining friends, hopefully. But I don't want to lose that spark, I want to keep pushing my imagination even when I'm older. And I think Legos allow for that, and crafting allows for that. It allows me to expand my imagination and keep that creative part of my brain alive. So I never want to stop doing that. And if you don't do that already, you should. Do something creative, Number 6, I have documentaries. Now, there's something super interesting about me that I don't think a lot of people relate to this one, but I do not like movies. I just really don't. I get really bored, especially if I'm in the movie theater. I find myself falling asleep a lot. I do like certain types of movies. I like romance movies and I like sad movies because those get my emotions involved. So I like those. But other than that, I really just don't love movies. I get bored. But documentaries are a completely different thing for me. Like, in my opinion, it is so different because documentaries are so interesting to me. And specifically, crime documentaries. I know some people don't like crime, but I just find crime documentaries to be so interesting. I've always loved psychology, so if you like psychology, then you most likely would like documentaries because it just goes into like everything behind why someone commits a crime, why someone did something. And I just love them. If you have any good documentary recommendations, please put them in the comments. Like, I love documentaries and I will watch them. in one night. I love them, but also I've watched pretty much every single one that I can find. I just love them. And if anyone ever mentions a serial killer or something, some big news story, some big crime news story that happened, I most likely know about it. And I know all the details of it because I watched a documentary on it. But anyways, that one's kind of niche, but yeah, I love them. Number 8, I have desserts. Now, this one I wrote down as more of a joke, obviously, because I'm not as passionate about desserts as I am about Jesus, of course, but I do love a good dessert, and I would consider myself a professional dessert eater. I eat dessert pretty much every single day, and it's just delicious. And I just love dessert. I love all different kinds of dessert, but I will say I do not like cake. I know that's probably gonna, be controversial, but I do not like cake or cupcakes. I'm the icing type. Like there are some people who only like the cake, but they hate the icing. I'm the opposite. I would eat a tub of icing, but I don't like the cake. So, and it's actually kind of funny because me and my older sister are like perfect when there's cupcakes because she only likes the cake and I only like the icing. So we can just get like one cupcake and I'll take the icing. She takes the cake. It works very, very well. But yeah, I love milkshakes, cookies, pazookies. If you've ever heard of pazookies from BJ's, shout out BJ's. I'm actually going there tonight. A pazookie is a cookie skillet and then there's ice cream on top. So good. I am obsessed. So yeah, desserts, they have my heart. I don't think I'll ever stop eating desserts, even when I'm older. And I got the sweet tooth from my dad. Once again, I get a lot of things from my dad, but yeah, my dad is a doctor, but he does eat a lot of dessert. And so do I now. So here we are. But yeah, you can have a dessert, just make sure you brush your teeth after. So you're chilling. I don't know if I'm on 7 or 8. To be honest, I lost track. But the next one I have is reading/writing. I know this one's boring. A lot of people do not like reading. And honestly, I don't love reading, but I do love reading when it's straight to the point, which is why I love Freida McFadden, why I love mystery books, why I love thrillers, because they get straight to the point. I don't have to wait 100 pages before it gets to something. I just dive right into it. That's what I love, and I'm very passionate about reading them. I could sit in my room for 2 hours and just read if it's a good book. If it's not a good book, then no. But yeah, I put reading and writing in the same category because I don't want to put them separately because they're very similar. But writing I like for a different reason. Because when I'm writing, I'm very passionate about writing about my feelings. I think there's something so important about putting your feelings into words and actually putting them somewhere. Because, I think sometimes we feel ashamed of how we feel, or we feel like, oh, this person wouldn't understand, so we don't want to say it to anyone. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to say it, then write it. Write it down because at least you're getting that energy out in some way. And that's how I like to do it. I have a very busy life, so I don't have a ton of time, but writing doesn't take a long time. I can sit in my bed for 15 minutes before I go to bed and just write down what I'm feeling. And it helps so much to just write it down and allow myself to feel how I'm feeling. And it's so, I guess, stress relieving to just put it somewhere. It's a weight lifted off your shoulders when you don't have to just hold it in anymore. And it's so important. No one's going to read it except you if you don't want them to. You can hide your little journal so no one else can read it, but it's important to get your emotions out in some way that's not harmful. Because ultimately, holding your emotions in and not saying anything, not writing them down, that is harmful. And your emotions will come out in some way, no matter what. So the important thing is getting them out now so that you can move on and grow. Yeah, I just love journaling. I've been journaling for a long time. I love to write, and a guilty pleasure of mine is writing essays. It's so weird, but I just love writing essays. I could write an essay for fun, and I actually used to do that. I used to just search up essay prompts and I would write an essay about it because I just love it. I love writing And I love trying to put words to things and capture feelings through words. I love poems. I love all of it. So yeah, number 9, I believe, number 9 is alone time. I'm very passionate about alone time because I think it's so important. And I'm introverted, very introverted. If people are around me, I can, hold a conversation or talk to them. But at the end of the day, I just love being alone. I don't like feeling lonely, but I do enjoy being alone. I like doing things on my own. I like having freedom and being independent, and I just love it. I really, honestly, hopefully in the near future, I want to go to a silent retreat. A silent retreat, you basically go to this, most of the times, it's kind of like a camp or something. There's other people there too who are also doing it, but you don't talk like at all you can do weekend ones or you can do like a week, I think. There are different ones, but I want to go to a little weekend silent retreat where I can just be quiet and be still. I just love that idea. I love being alone and just being quiet. I've always been quiet, I think. I've always been pretty shy. So, being alone, I don't mind it at all because I don't have to use words. I don't have to talk. I don't have to be drained. My social battery is recharging in those times, and I'm a lot more social than I used to be. I have friends that I love to go out with and talk to them, and I have family who I like to be around, all these things, but I don't think I'll ever be extremely extroverted. So, yeah, I just love being alone. And I think it's nice to be alone because you can listen. Listening is so underrated, In the Bible says, be quick to listen and slow to anger, and that's what I want to be, ultimately. I want to be the person that listens to people when they feel unheard. I just do. That's my ultimate goal for life, is to be that safe space for people because I like having that safe space and the people I'm closest to, and I want to be that safe space for others in the future. And I think that's part of the reason why I want to go into psychology, because I want to understand people and I want to listen to them and I want to understand where they're coming from. And oftentimes when I am listening the most is when I'm alone, because I can listen to the people around me. I can understand people more. And I just love it. One thing about me, I'm not embarrassed to be alone. I think a lot of people feel like embarrassed, like, oh, I'm going to the movies alone or like I'm eating alone. Not me. I think that's honestly, it makes you cooler if you can do things alone. That's my opinion. I don't know if people agree with that or not, but if I see you out alone and you're just rocking it, you're rocking and rolling, you're cool. And yeah, that's honestly all I have to say. And that's how I feel when I'm alone. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I can do things alone. I'm independent. So yeah, keep doing it. If you do that, and if you've never gone anywhere alone, do it. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to order takeout because you're embarrassed to be seen alone. You can go in the restaurant alone. You can go to the movie alone. You can go bowling alone. I don't know. I was just thinking of something random. But anyways, you can do things alone. And my last, but definitely not least point is mental health. I'm sure if you've been here for the past episodes, you know I'm very passionate about mental health. I always have been, but I think especially, I've been through hard things in my life. And my mental health has not always been great. And, I've seen other people go through really, really hard things with their mental health. And I think that it's become a passion of mine to talk about them, to not let those feelings just sit there and go unnoticed. Mental health needs to be talked about. It needs to be shared because I think we all deal with these things. We all deal with anxiety and depression and hardships that we think we're going through alone, but we're never truly alone. The people around us are going through the same things. Everyone is fighting their own battle in their brain and in their life. And if we would just be open to talking to each other about it and spreading kindness to each other instead of shame, I think the world would be so much better of a place. And I just want this podcast, this community, to be a place where all feelings are welcome. I want this to be a safe space where if you guys are going through something, you can come to me. You can talk about your mental health issues. Like, this is a safe space, and you will always be met with kindness and love. Because, the first episode, I talked about that. The community we're building here is kind and loving and accepting, and it will never be anything but that. So if you're dealing with something with your mental health, I just encourage you, please reach out to someone. There are people who care about you. There are online resources that you can go to that are free. You can talk to me about it. Just don't go through it alone. You deserve to have support. There are people who would love you and support you through all of it. Do not keep going through it alone. Do not feel like you have to carry the burden on your own, because you don't. I guarantee you there are people around you who have been through very similar situations, and they would love to help you out with it. They would love to share their knowledge with you. And ultimately, that's what I want to do as well. I want to talk to you guys about the things I've been through and help you guys. And you guys help me as well. With that being said, those are my top 10 things that I'm passionate about. I hope that along this episode, you were able to just think of things that you're passionate about. And maybe they were similar to mine, or maybe they were completely different. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope that you share this with someone if you think that they would like it. And follow if you aren't already. It's not cool to be nonchalant. So keep feeling, keep being passionate about things. I'll see you guys next episode. That's the scoop.